Welcome to our newest episode of our ongoing Find Your Balance podcast series, sponsored by US Eagle, a series dedicated to helping you make the best money moves. In this episode, we'll be speaking with Chris Newman, Realtor with Keller Williams, and Chad Krieger, VP of Mortgage Lending at US Eagle, about why now is a good time to buy a home, how you can prepare, including finance options, and the importance of the 5 C's. Why is now a good time to buy a home?
Is there really ever a bad time to buy a home, Chris?
You know, someone once said there's never a time you could overspend. As long as you hold the property for a long enough period of time, you could never overpay for property.
Right, absolutely agree. You know, you got to start somewhere, and I think buying a home in America is still America's dream today. In all reality, a lot of people kind of freak over that, though. It's a big process.
It's a big deal.
Becoming buyer ready is like, whoa, huge, right?
Yeah.
Where do I even start?
It's one of the biggest decisions and purchases most people will make in their life. We all need to live somewhere, and so we're either paying rent or we're putting that money back into our own future with a home purchase.
I remember bringing up the concept with my old man. He said, buddy, you better save. You better save a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Well, how much is a lot of money? He's like, you got to save 20% of your home. And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Well, so that definitely is one of the ways to get into home ownership with the 20% down payment. But as you know, there's so many different options now buyers have with lower down payment, 10%, 5%. In some cases, some folks are getting in with 0% down payment, depending on their situation.
Yeah, US Eagle included. I mean, we have a great first-time home buyer plan. We can go up to 100% financing for certain FICOs.
It's really understanding your financial situation as a buyer and just learning about all the options that are out there to sort of overcome that barrier of getting into a home.
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, definitely there's FHA, there's government lending, right?
Yep.
So you've got FHA, HUD, you've got VA, especially if you're a veteran.
Oh, yeah.
And in VA, in some circumstances, you can even go over 100% financing for you.
Amazing.
Yeah, which is really incredible.
That is.
They can even help you cover closing costs today.
Yeah.
You know, there are other programs too. So in conventional lending standards, you can get by with as little as 3% down.
Buying versus renting.
We were just talking before we shot this episode of the trade-off of time versus money and the return on investment from buying your home versus renting in perpetuity. If you own your home, you're paying off your principal balance over time, you're reducing your home ownership cost over time versus the rental situation over time. There starts to become a break-even point. And when folks understand that, I think they might make a different decision with their money and decide to buy versus rent.
The reality is today, if you are renting, you are paying somebody else to make money off of it. So how do you become buyer ready? Well, the reality is you need to work on your 5 C's, and 5 C's are credit, right? So we need to really stick to our basics and pull our own credit report. Once you get an idea as to where that credit score is, you can probably take the next step already, but hold off on that. Collateral. So everything is about the home that you're purchasing. Can you afford that home? You don't want to buy outside of your means. How much cash have you saved? Really, that feeds into your down payment as well. How much can I really afford? Again, in all reality, after I purchase, am I going to have enough set aside cash-wise, capacity-wise? Finally, probably conditions and combined loan to value. Conditions are a big thing, simply because you have to be able to afford what you're buying.
So that really is the first step. You're looking to buy a home, you need to have financing for this. Talk to a great mortgage loan originator, someone who could help you navigate all of those 5 C's.
I'm glad you brought that up because, Chris, building a team, building an executive team of home buying is really what it's all about. Honestly. It really takes a village. I mean, and that village can really help you.
Yeah.
Particularly, in here in Albuquerque, everybody's so family strong.
Right.
I think about that. And within your family, within your network, somebody's going to advise you correctly. Right. It really takes a village to help you to get to where you want to be.
Learning about your credit.
Let me capitalize on the credit aspect. Simply because Find Your Balance, which is a US Eagle funded website, can kind of help set the tone as to where any would-be candidate that wants to home buy today can actually set a budget, can get an idea as to what their credit score, credit FICO is, etc., as to get them buyer ready per se, as well can set them up with a financial consultant, let alone mortgage loan officer as yourself, yours truly here, that can help guide them and help them build that team, especially if they don't have a team today.
Yeah.
We can advise in that respect.
Why work with a realtor?
So it's really simple. We make it easy. We make it easy on someone trying to reach their goal. Realtors are really coaches in a way. We help people reach a goal, whether they're trying to buy or sell property. We help them connect with the resources they need. We know the process innately in and out, and being that guide, that shepherd for a buyer is really the value we bring as realtors.
If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like our podcast and refer your friends to it. Our next podcast will get into greater detail about your financing options and much more. Until then, thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to having you join us again on the next episode of the Find Your Balance podcast.